he really understood the process in which it took to make this happen. But yeah, I was the one in the corner saying, "Oh boy," putting a lot of pressure on me to build this thing the right way. But he's really entrusted me to make sure that we do this the right way, and to have 3 wins in our first 2 years, just amazing, because we started from scratch. We had nothing. So it's just amazing. Couldn't do it, obviously, without Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing and their help get us off the ground. But we've taken that and we've really made some great strides. I'm just super happy with where our company is now, where it's going in the future, and really in the long-term future as well.
So he mentioned it, 23, 45, and 67, Travis Pastrana. Now, we know Travis. He's been to Daytona and Xfinity. I don't think he's ever driven a Cup car. I know he's never driven a next-gen car. There's no practice. Lap 1 will be qualifying Wednesday night. Lap 2 will be turn 1 of lap 1 of the dual race. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, the worst goes wrong is we just destroy a car, and I guess he doesn't make the race. But that'd be a bad scenario. But yeah, matter of fact, at 5:30 in the afternoon, he was maybe doing some takeoff launches out on Raceway Drive in Orgeron, trying to figure out if he, make sure he wasn't going to stall this thing. So he's worked really, really hard. I can't tell you. I mean, Travis.
It's a great story.
If you follow him on social media, he's in every different country you could imagine every single day racing. And so I was very nervous about him. Okay, can you not stall? Can you hit your marks? He has worked a ton of time in the simulator, and now that we've got the car up and running, he's working on it in real life to make sure that he does his job. And he's serious about this. This has been a dream of his to make the Daytona 500, and he's going to give it his all.
And it's about the stoutest group of open cars we've had since this charter system in 17.
It makes me nervous.
Should be fine. So I'm looking ahead at this year. Obviously Tyler Reddick on board. What did you see in him? Obviously you had signed him up for not this coming year, but it turned out to be that way. What did you see in him that said, hey, that we want that guy to be part of our organization? And obviously, too, we just talked about Travis Pastrana driving the 67. We know that's just a one-race deal, and that car is kind of for Kurt. But what is Kurt's role in this at this point in time, not racing, as well as Tyler Reddick, and what he's going to do for you?
Well, Kurt is essentially our third driver that's not driving right now. He's in all of our meetings. He goes to the racetrack. He mentors our 2 drivers. He transfers information back and forth to them. That's really, really important to us. We knew that Kurt's career had a sunset to it at some point, and Tyler, that's why I picked him for the 2024 season, because we had, Kurt was supposed to be running this year. Obviously, with the health changes with him, we had to expedite that a little bit. But for me, in my mind, in my opinion, generational talents only come around every so often. I remember seeing it, honestly, in Brad Keselowski when he was running 5-6 laps down in Xfinity. My team asked me, well, who's the next guy that's going to come up like you did? I said, well, probably Brad. He got an opportunity, bam, he took off and he succeeded. So those guys just don't come around that often. And I'm on the racetrack enough to see Tyler, and I'm like, wow, he has got some special stuff. If he just manages it a little bit better, I think he could win as much or more than Kyle Larson in any given year. When Kyle Larson's like, that's the guy need to go get, you probably should go get him. So I just think that he's one of those guys that he works really hard. Every time I drive in the shop, his car's there and he's working and he's trying to get acclimated to our team, how we do things with Toyota. That's when you start to get great results, right? Is when you have the talent and the work ethic. That's when you're going to see greatness. And I think Tyler, it's just a matter of time.
Denny headed to Daytona. People already starting to ask, who do you like? Who you like? Obviously, we tell them Denny Hamlin. Watch the Team Penske Fords. We know the Hendrick Chevrolets. They're going to be fast. But I said this morning on my radio show, don't take your eye off that 23 car with Bubba Wallace. They may not qualify right up near the front, but it has come to life for Bubba Wallace at these super speedways, finishing second in the 500 a year ago.
It's came to life everywhere. The second half of the year, let's face it, I think he performed his average finish as good as better than anyone. He drove the 45 car to the top 10 in points last year. So he took a step that I'm not even sure I was aware that a level of talent that he's got. And I think he's very, very motivated this year to go win a lot of races. And you know what he's even more motivated about is what I talked about just a few minutes ago, singing the praises of Tyler Reddick. He's like, well, let me show you.
That's it. Oh, yeah, that's it.
I've got two drivers that are super motivated. And
They'll push each other,
and that's what has to happen. I remember when Kyle Busch came to Joe Gibbs Racing, me and him were pushing each other to be better.
Literally at times.
Good one. That's right.
On the track, in the hauler, in the shop, in the garage.
All my guys doing that. But yeah, I want them to push each other to be better, and I think they will.
How do you compartmentalize driving and owning, the ownership side versus what you do behind the wheel?
I just have to make sure I take certain days and only work on certain things. I mean, that's the only way I can do it is to really supplement and say, okay, basically Friday to Monday, I am only focused on being a race car driver, and then my midweek is all meetings and all the things that I have to do for 2311. So that's the only way I can do it. If I start mingling them in between, then I do get a little sidetracked. But between that and kids and podcasting and all this stuff,
Yeah, you're a podcaster now.
I'm on all these different councils and boards and I don't know. I'm doing what I love though. It's like, you guys have been in this sport for a long time. You're doing it because you